Furuvik Amusement Park opened in 1900, so it's been here quite a while. But despite that, it's not Sweden's oldest amusement park, and not the biggest either. But I have a feeling that I'm gonna find something interesting here anyway. Come on, let's go check it out. As mentioned, Furuvik opened in 1900 after a guy called Oscar Jakobsson went to the US and got inspired by the amusement parks there. At that time, there weren't that many attractions here. People came here for dances and picnics and to gawk at exotic animals like elephants and giraffes and crocodiles. The park was closed for a few years during World War I, and then it basically got sold around to various people, remained closed until 1937, when there was a grand reopening. That didn't really go all that well because the park kept losing money. It was sold to the local municipality in 1983, and it kept losing money until 2000, when the last owner actually managed to turn a profit. Parks and Resorts Scandinavia, who owns other parks like Gröna Lund in Stockholm, bought this park in 2010, and surprisingly enough, it's actually making some money now. Or well, it would have made money these last couple of years if not for this little flu that's been spreading all over the world. Sweden has made some interesting choices in how to battle the disease, and most of the world seems baffled about the looseness of Sweden's restrictions. Almost everything has been open without any type of lockdown, but in its infinite wisdom, Sweden decided that amusement parks need to be shut down. So Sweden's amusement parks have been closed for over a year, and they've been bleeding money. Millions and millions and millions and millions have been lost. But all is well now and everything is moving in the right direction. So I can finally try all the attractions at Furuvik Amusement Park. So what can you find at Furuvik? It's a bit of an odd bird. It's a zoo and an amusement park and a water park. It tries to have something for everyone. That means that it doesn't excel at anything. It's not a top choice for any of those categories. But everything doesn't have to be the best. There's something to be said about just being a pleasant park with interesting things to see and do. Personally, I love roller coasters, but there's not that much to excite me about that here. The newest one is Fireball, a Vekoma boomerang coaster from 2017. Fun fact, Fireball is a cinnamon whiskey brand in Sweden. I think I prefer the whiskey compared to the coaster. They also have a steel coaster called Rocket and a surprisingly awesome ghost hunt ride called Spökjakten.
Välkommen! Jag är professor Finkelstein. Vill ni hjälpa mig?
Jag går en lång...
Die! Die! Die!
Kom igen bara, försök!
When you attend a zoo, you always have to be wary of possible animal mistreatments. The EAZA is apparently the world's biggest organization for inspecting animal treatments at zoos, and they checked out Furuvik in 2017. And the park was praised for having well-tended animals and being a well-run park in general. I'm sure that made them pretty happy. The river ride attraction was pretty fun, but the queue was way too long. There's an old military installation next to the park that they've incorporated as a kind of mini attraction called the Secret Fort. Pretty ingenious. Let's talk about some unpleasant things about the park as well. There have been a few accidents here. In 2012, a man sat down in one of the mini cars in one of the attractions here, and ended up getting a towbar in his butt. It wasn't funny, not at all. It was a serious injury, but I think the newspaper articles at the time did their best to make it sound hilarious. Also in 2017, a 5-year-old boy was found at the bottom of one of the pools in the park. But he survived, don't worry. Still, I wouldn't want to be the PR guy at the park trying to clean up after incidents like that. Also in 2011, a deer got into the ape exhibit at the park. He was chased by howling monkeys, and I can imagine that both the deer and the monkeys were terrified. What? Who let this beast in here? This is our place! Anyway, the deer survived without injuries, so all's well that ends well. Well, that's about it for my little look at Furuvik. It's not the biggest or the best amusement park in Sweden, it's not the biggest or the best zoo in Sweden, but it has a certain charm of its own. Like and subscribe, but most importantly, have a great day.